Well, we all love the smell and feeling of getting a new book. The reading part is where the problem lies. How many of us will actually start a book and finish it? So in this video, I'm going to explain to you the benefits of reading and how we can make a reading plan together that we actually stick to. Now, you may be asking why I'm doing this. Well, one of the reasons I identified in my own life is that reading is a weak point. And if you look at every successful person, they all read. So it's a habit of successful people that I want to try and adopt, hopefully teach myself a few things. Now, there also are a lot of studies that show that there are numerous amounts of benefits of reading. And this is not like reading a book a day or a book a week like Steve Jobs. It's literally just reading 20 minutes on a daily basis. So to find out these benefits, let's actually start off in the brain and see how do we actually read. So reading starts off with your eyes, where your eyes see a bunch of squiggles and lines on a piece of paper. Your eyes then send a signal to the back of your brain where it is then processed. Once processed, that piece of information is then sent to the temporal lobe of your brain, where those squiggles and lines are converted or recognized into letters. Once that is done, it is then sent to the frontal lobe of your brain, where it is then recognized as a word, what it means and how that word is pronounced. Now, this process does seem pretty long, but it actually takes milliseconds to happen. A study done in Harvard shows that reading actually reduces your chance of getting dementia when you're older. And this is because they have shown that when reading, there is more activity in the left temporal part of your brain. Now, this is important because this is the part of your brain that is in charge of memory, verbal recall, and emotional regulation. And this is why another study has actually shown that reading actually reduces stress and anxiety in a lot of people. Along with that, there are a bunch of other benefits that comes with reading, like expanding your vocabulary, improving your concentration and focus. Really? Along with that comes a bunch of other benefits with reading, like expanding your vocabulary, improving your concentration and focus, improving your creativity, bettering your mood, bettering your sleep, improving your personality, and helping you to write better. Alright, so what is going to be our plan to actually build a reading habit together? Step 1 is don't overachieve, start small. It is very easy to say that I'm going to read a book a week like Jeff Bezos, but realistically that's not going to happen and you're not going to do it. Just remember, your brain is a muscle. So just like you wouldn't go to the gym and start doing the same amount of weights that Sam Silik is doing, you wouldn't want to do this to your brain. Another reason for this is that it will start to feel more of a punishment than something that you should actually enjoy and something that actually benefits you in almost every way. Now, if your attention span is really bad like mine, then I would suggest that you start reading off with like 1 page a day and build up from there. Increase it to 2, then to 5, and so on as you get more comfortable with reading. Step 2 is to read before you're distracted. The internet is a very dark place, and once you get on, it is extremely hard to get off. So I would suggest reading early in the morning before you check up on what your ex-girlfriend is up to.
What did he say?
Because once you get any dopamine spike from the internet, it is going to be very hard to find any enjoyment in reading for the day. One way to ensure that you do this is through habit bunching, which is step 3. This is where you pair things that are already a habit and add something onto it that you're trying to build. So for example, let's just say that you have a cup of coffee every morning. So what you can do is actually pair reading with drinking that cup of coffee. And a good way to remind you to do this is actually to leave the book next to the kettle or the espresso machine. And the final step to building a reading habit is to change your attitude, because it sucks. Now, this isn't very practical or hands-on, but if you keep telling yourself that you don't like it, you are just creating a greater mental resistance towards it, and that's just dumb. So those are the steps that we can use to build in this reading habit together. But if you're an analytical person like me, you want to know how much torture you're going through. No, not torture, I said change your attitude. What I'm actually going to do is actually create a plan. So there are 3 ways to actually approach this. There's a top-down method, a bottom-up method, and a time-designated method. The top-down method is where you want to say, I want to read 1 book a month. So if you look at the book and you see how many pages is in that book, you then divide that book by 30 days so you know how many pages you want to read per day. Now, if you don't know how many pages are in the book, then just take the average amount of pages in the book, which is 300, and see that you would have to read 10 pages a day for a month to actually finish a book that is 300 pages in a month. Now, I'm not a fan of that method. I prefer the bottom-up method where I ask myself realistically, how many pages can I read per day? So let's just say I say 5. So that means in a month, I can read 150 pages a day, or that 300-page book will take me 2 months to read. So just be realistic with it and be truthful to yourself as well. And the third way is to actually set an amount of time that you're going to be reading per day. And how many ever pages you get through in that time period is the amount of pages you read for the day. So for example, like 20 minutes a day. Now adding on to that is to set a designated time. So for me, that's going to be around 9 o'clock. And now I highly suggest that this is 1 or 2 hours before your actual bedtime, because trust me, if it is too close, you're probably just going to skip reading and go to bed. So that is all the ways that I can actually think of to build a reading habit. So I really suggest that we try this together. So from the release of this video, I'm going to be challenging myself to at least read for 20 minutes a day and get through as many books as I possibly can for the rest of this year. I will make a follow-up video in a month or two to let you know how it's going. Also, if you're interested in different book reviews of the different books that I'm going to read, like Rich Dad Poor Dad or Atomic Habits, then just let me know in the comment section below so I can actually make a review video for you guys. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. So if you don't know who we are the Success Equation, and we make financial literacy videos that are actually fun and entertaining to help to teach you how to make money but also have fun at the same time. Stay blessed.